This year will be our third annual 9/11 Memorial Stair Climb. We do this to remember them. We walk up 110 flights of stairs because that's what they were attempting to do. We also walk down 110 flights of stairs because they were not able to do that. This event is open to the public. We invite everyone to come. We collect the funds for the t-shirt and the registration that will be donated to the Terry Farrell Foundation that helps other fire departments that are in need.
Under the circumstances and the stress to do what they did, to go as far as they did, to be able to help as many people as they did, seems near impossible physically to me when I'm doing what little I do at the stair climb.
I was in the main building of LaGrange High, second floor, in English class. Just, you couldn't believe it, but you knew it was real because you could see the fear in all the teachers' eyes, and everybody getting on the phone, calling, checking if it was real, what was going on. At that time, my age, you didn't really know quite at first what to think of it.
I was in EMT school. I was taking my final exam. People was coming in out of the classroom, and we didn't really know what was going on. Just had people talking, going back and forth. And finally, one of the students, were like, "Hey, we can't concentrate. People coming in and out." And that's when our instructor had told us that a plane had hit the World Trade Center. And I happened to be working for Hurd County, and actually I went back to my station in Glen, Station 6, and that's when I started watching everything on TV and seeing the plane hit, and then later on the towers collapsing.
I remember I was at Troop High, my senior English class, sitting in class, and somebody from the office came in and opened the door and talked with the teacher, and they turned the TVs on. What I remember, what sticks out really in my head, is walking down the halls in between classes. Usually everybody's cutting up and acting out, and it was almost silent, going from class to class. Nobody really knew what was going on, what was taking place. It was just a real nerve-wracking time for everybody. Everybody was scared, didn't really know what to expect, what was coming next. It was just one of those times where you feel kind of lost.
I was actually a firefighter on duty. We had training scheduled, ironically, at the airport that day. I was sitting on the bumper of Rescue 21 when one of my lieutenants told me that the Twin Towers had been hit. So we all went to the day room and watched it unfold. And we were horrified to see what happened later on. We formulated a team, and actually that team of about 6 or 7 folks flew up to New York to help out.
So 9/11 played a huge part in me choosing this career, to have the motivation to try to help people, right? So the night that we were sitting down that night, watching the news, watching the firefighters and all the responders dig through the rubble trying to help people. And I remember thinking in my mind that I wanted to help. I was 12, I couldn't help, but I wanted that. So that's a drive that I have in me that I didn't know. I didn't know I had that.
Then the aftermath of that, I remember how close everybody seemed as a country and just in general. Everybody just seemed really united. It was just like some kind of closeness that you felt with people that wasn't there the day before. That day, colors didn't matter, religions didn't matter. We were all facing the same thing.
I don't think I really got the full grasp. I know I saw it and heard what had happened. And like I said, I knew something was wrong and something wasn't right. But knowing what I know now about what had happened, I know I didn't know the full scope of what was going on that day.
Well, since I'm a firefighter now, it's kind of personal, because not knowing what I know back then, but knowing what I know now, see the selflessness, that those men and women, had to react and to go into, 2 burning buildings that just got hit by some airlines, that's, it makes me appreciate, the days a lot better.
This is my calling. I love this, and You know, I know that any day we go out here, anything can happen.
You really gain a lot of perspective for the sacrifice that those men and women gave that day, and you really think about all the families that were affected, all the people that were affected, and going into the situation, they knew that they weren't going to make it. So that right there just forces you to kind of give everything that you got every day up here for anybody in the community, anybody needing help.
That's what we do. That's our job. That's our everything. To be one, you'd have to be one to know, to understand it.
That kind of bravery, you know, you can't measure up to that. That's something impossible. So we're going to be out there giving our all, remembering what they've done, what they stood for, and just, you know, that's the kind of stuff we need to live up to. If they can be that honorable, that brave to give everything, then we should too.
You know, we all try to think that, you know, when a time like that comes that we'll do the same thing, but, you know, you never know until it gets there. They prove themselves. It's an honorable profession. They were very honorable people, and it, you know, makes us proud to kind of try to put on the same shoes they put on and kind of do the same job that they were doing.
You know, you take this job, you know that any given time you may lose your life. You hoping you don't, but it's something that we do. Every morning I say a prayer for me and my crew when I come on duty. And at the end I say, Lord, just watch over us, where we may be able to turn back home safe to our families.
I stayed up the rest of the day. I couldn't go to sleep because of the thought of police, firemen, and whoever going up in that tower, and all the people that died there also.
Every time you run a call, whether it's, you know, very serious or, you know, you're unsure, you get that feeling of, all right, here we go. You know, this could be anything. Think about your family. You think about your brothers, who's right there with you, who's riding to it. And, you know, you just hope that everybody's going to come out safe. And, you know, in that particular situation, they knew they were going to lose folks, and just buckling it up and getting the job done. And that's what we train for. That's what we work for. And all of us, we just hope we can do what they did that day.
The actual emergency radio traffic from 9/11 is played during the stair climb. That way the participants will know exactly what was happening and what's going through their head as these events unfold.
When we hear that radio traffic and we put our minds as we in that position with them, it's horrible. I mean, it's heartbroken, and it just brings you to tears.
That's very emotional, especially when you hear a lot of the maydays, or, you know, people trapped, can't get out. You hear instant command holler, you know, hey, tower collapsing over here, tower collapsing over there. And just listen to that, man, that's devastating to hear.
Really, when you hear the radio traffic, it really puts me and a lot of other people in a different mindset. You know, I'm not going to give up. These guys didn't give up, so I'm not going to.
You're doing it to remember them. You know, you feel their emotions, and put yourself in that situation and be like, what if it was me?
Doing what I do now as a firefighter, you know, every day we think about those guys. Every day we think about all of our brothers and sisters that we've lost.
They haven't been forgotten. We may not know all of their names, but we know if you look around fire stations now, look on trucks, look on gear, you're going to see 343. We remember those men and women that didn't make it out, and I don't think they will be forgotten.
We're in a debt that cannot be repaid. I mean, there's men and women that didn't get to come home to their families, and, you know, they had to pay the ultimate price, but they are the ultimate heroes to give their life something greater.
If I could talk to the 343 firefighters that was lost on September 11th, 2001, I would tell them thank you. Show my gratitude for the work they did that day in their attempt to save people. No doubt in my mind, every one of those folks did their job knowing that they weren't going home that day, and they helped save thousands of lives.